Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today you join me at the Island Fisheries just outside of Mere. It's a lake that I'm quite familiar with. I've done quite a few sessions on here before, a couple of 24 hours. And it's a lake that I haven't really sussed out yet. Some days you can get 3 or 4 fish, and some days you just don't get anything over the 24 hours. But I'm doing the 24 hours on here at the moment. I'm about 4 hours into the session already. I arrived here at 10 AM this morning, and I'm due to leave tomorrow at 10 AM as well. There's someone else booked on straight after me, so I have to make a quick exit in the morning. All 3 rods are on their spot. I've got my right hand rods to the left of an overhanging tree on the island. I've got my middle rod out in a cove just on the left of the island, and my left hand rod is currently in the margin. Not quite sure what to do with that yet overnight. There were a few fish in the margin when I got here, so that's why it's down there at the moment. I'll go through tactics and everything later in the bait that I'm using and my approach. And yeah, like I say, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get into some carp fairly soon. So it's just coming up to 4:30. I've just had another strange bite on my right hand rod. Again, the one that's positioned just to that overhanging tree on the island. It's done exactly the same. The bobbin's gone up tight, the line started to go tight. I can start to see line coming off of the reel. And as I've gone to strike into it, nothing there. So I don't know again whether there is a fish trailing line out there and it's picked up my rod again, or I've just had another savage liner. Anyway, I thought I'd take the chance to show you my setup. So all 3 rods are fishing exactly the same setup. So I've got a Fox flying back lead there just to keep it pinned down, and I'm going to fish fairly slack lines just so the lines running along the bottom. Got about 12 inches of tubing down to a lead clip system with a 2-ounce pear lead on that, and then I've just got a little 8mm bead there just to cushion the lead impacting against the knot in the swivel. And then I am fishing a Ronnie rig with a size 6 curved shank hook. And then for bait, I'm using a 12mm Core Baits pastel pop-up. On my right hand rod I'm using the yellow one, which is this one. My middle rod is the pink coloured, and then on the left hand one I am using a yellow steel. 2 colours I know do catch here. So without further ado, I'll get the rods back out and see if we can't catch a fish. Well, after recasting that last rod, in my right hand margin a fish crashed, quite a decent sized fish as well, so that sort of made a decision for me really with what I was doing with my left hand rod. I've had it out in the margin for the last few hours, and then I've seen a few fizzing bubbles out in the deeper hole, so I popped that rod out there for the last hour or so. And because that fish has crashed over there, I think now we're going into the evening. I've put a bit of bait out, I've put the rod out there as well, so I've got the yellow pop-up down in the right hand margin, and hopefully that rod in that area will produce the fish. So the reason I'm going for pop-ups is because the last few times I've fished here I've stuck with bottom baits, and pretty much on every time I've reeled in the rig there's been some debris, some leaf debris or weed that I've brought in on the hook. So I thought today, to try and eliminate that, I'm going to fish the bait off the deck, and hopefully that will keep the rig and the bait all presented nicely for the fish to come in and take it, and the hook's still going to be free to hook the fish. So hopefully the next time I see you we'll have a fish on the bank.
I know
good morning ladies and gents, and quite an eventful night, although didn't catch any fish. Like yesterday on my middle rod towards the island on the overhanging tree, I had 6 line bites last night that literally wiped me out. Every time I got to the rod, I struck in, nothing there, but they went screaming off, line starting to come from the reel, but when I struck into it, nothing there. So I'm pretty much 100% sure there is a fish carrying some line out there. So what I ended up doing after about the 5th time, instead of putting 10 wraps straight on the island, about a foot off the island, I'd done it about 8 wraps. So I had to get a 20 foot from the line and 15 foot from the island. And then I managed to get 2 or 3 hours kit this morning. The line has stopped at about 4 o'clock this morning, and after that it's been pretty quiet. When I woke up, there's been a lot of fizzing, particularly on my left hand spot just over where I baited last night, but again that hasn't gone off. And I've just moved my right hand margin rod a bit more into open water where there was some other bubbles coming up, so I've got an hour and a half left, just making a cup of tea, and then that'll be time to pack up. But hopefully I'll see you in a few minutes with a fish, but it's been an enjoyable session all the same. Well, unfortunately that 24 hours resulted in a blank on peg 1, but not to worry, I was back out the week later just for a day session with my mate Joe, who you would have seen on the channel in a few of my carp fishing videos before. And we had quite a bit of success really. We fished swim 10, known as dragonfly, which neither of us had fished in the past. And as soon as we got there, signs were there were carp sort of in the area off the islands. So we had most of our rods positioned. I only chose to fish 2 rods out, both of them tight to the island, couldn't get much closer. And I reverted back to sort of my favourite tactics. I was using the blowback rig with a bottom bait, just a core baits, core boilie, and glugged in its sort of flavour. And that did the trick. I had 2 carp. The first one, 15 pounds 1 ounces, a beautiful carp as you can see. Pretty nice scale pattern sort of down the flank on both sides. And then about 2 hours later, Joe had one around the 9 pound mark, really nice fish. And then I had one about an hour later, pristine condition, a fully scaled mirror, and actually probably one of the prettiest carp I've ever caught, at 14 pounds dead on the nose. It was a really special fish. Both sides, perfect condition. We were both really pleased with how the session went. It just goes to show that doing a day session in the right area, the right location on the lake can sometimes produce a fish over doing 24 hours where there's not many fish in the area. So anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. Please like the video and subscribe if you haven't, and I will catch you next time.